If you have clicked on this video, then you have likely noticed my username. One of the reasons I am named Inabehair is because Persona 4 is my favorite game of all time by far. Combine that with the fact that Persona 4 is getting yet another remake and the Persona gambling game is getting released in the West, now's the best time to make a Persona 4 video. However, one thing viscerally annoys me whenever this game is brought up, especially on Twitter: the Persona 4 discourse. Persona 4 is an extremely controversial game for several story elements and some gameplay related elements. A lot of people have completely misread the game and have spun off misconstrued narratives about it. A lot of people are going to find out about Persona 4 for the first time because of the upcoming remake. Do not fear, for I am here to end the discourse before it even begins. Today I will be going over every part of the Persona 4 discourse and strictly correcting the narrative, because if I have to hear this discourse one more time, I'm gonna cook and prepare and eat my mailman. Alright, so let's head to the first bad faith / incorrect critique of Persona 4. If you do not know or remember, at several points in the game, party member Yosuke Hanamura makes several off-color comments surrounding being gay, especially with the confirmed gay party member Kanji Tatsumi. It is a big part of his character that he says mildly homophobic stuff, and this has put him off to a lot of people who have played the game and people who didn't but read something about it on Twitter. Here are why his detractors are wrong. His homophobia makes him a better character, actually. Part of writing a compelling character is giving them character flaws. It makes me blow steam on my fucking ears whenever character flaws are confused with writing flaws. Part of what makes Yosuke a great character is that he's a flawed little dude struggling with his identity at such a young age and doesn't always deal with it in a healthy way. Part of that messed up ideology is his subtle homophobia, and if you were to remove that, then he wouldn't feel real as a young male struggling with his masculinity and place in the world, also known as the themes of the game. Persona 4 was inspired by its times, and back then, not everyone was hyper-vigilant with what was progressive at the time. He redeems himself for this flaw at the end of his social link and the main story. So not only was this intentionally put as a flaw of his, but it was also redeemed by the end. Before writing off this character, actually finish the game and pay attention throughout it. Also, don't let Twitter determine your opinions. Alright, that's just general advice for life in general. I'll go over this quickly just to cover all my Persona 4 discourse spaces, because this is quite simple to cover, and many people have done it before. Naoto is not a trans character. I'm going to summarize Naoto Shiragane's arc, and by simply explaining the story, that will prove my point. Naoto is a young detective and starts the story presenting as a male to the rest of the cast and the uneducated player. A fellow detective drunkenly rants about her inexperience and young age as a detective before being brought to the forefront in the 5th arc of the game. Through complex and genius methods that I don't need to go over specifically, she baits the culprit into throwing her inside the TV world, leading into her dungeon. Her main insecurity is revealed to be that she is actually a female and must present as a male to rise up in the male-dominated policing industry. Her shadow self offers her a chance to undergo a robot surgery that makes her a robot and a man in order to succeed. After the team defeats her shadow in a fight, Naoto accepts herself as a woman and embraces that identity despite the male dominance of her field. If you follow this story from A to B, you will realize the truth that Naoto is a story about identity-based discrimination, thus tying back into the themes of identity that Persona 4 has. Would a trans character fit into the game's themes? Yes, but Naoto is not. You can have headcanons all you want, just know that they are not definitive canon. On to the next one, which has much less to do with culture war controversy and has more to do with the general common complaints against Persona 4 that I vehemently disagree with. A notorious barrier to entry for a lot of people for Persona 4 is the game's lengthy intro. The gap between you starting the game and actually getting into the main gameplay loop is around 3 hours. Many people assume that Persona 4 is just bloated because of this. What if I told you it was just slow-paced writing? It makes sense for the setting and vibe of the game to let you get accustomed to the setting before the other shoe drops and you are shoved into the magical shadow world. Persona 4 is a game of chill vibes. Trust me, that will be an important point for later. What makes Inaba so engaging is that you are given time to settle in and get to meet the cast before things kick off. In the age where everything must move at the speed of light to be engaging, fast-paced writing is always equated with good writing. In the inverse for slow-paced writing. What I'm trying to say here is that Family Guy funny clips on TikTok and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. The world of Persona 4 has a lot of interesting mechanics, characters, and concepts to introduce, so it needs to spoon-feed it to the player one at a time. Don't forget the time needed for world building and characterization. The best settings are also characters themselves, and Inaba is one of them. For an example of what I'm talking about, let's see how the TV world is introduced to the main character. It's through classmate gossip. It's a mere countryside urban legend and is preceded by conversations about returning DVDs and shopping malls competing with each other. You really get the feel that Inaba is a town where jack shit happens, so people make up stories about ghosts and weird animals to pass the time. From what I just presented, do you see how much time a setting like Inaba takes to fully set up before the plot kicks into high gear? One of the main reasons I think there's a lot of animosity towards the opening of Persona 4 is because of the opening of Persona 5. Persona 5's opening drops you straight into the action and sets up a good framing device for the story. You get right into the heat of being a rebellious phantom thief. After you're taken to the interrogation room, it's only about an hour till you're suited up and ready to take down a palace. For most Persona fans, me included, played 5 before 4. Going back to 4's opening was too much of a shock for a lot of people. One of the most requested fixes of a Persona 4 remake is to cut down on intro time. On the topic of remakes and Persona 5 isms, let's head into the final area of discourse of the video. Persona 4 truly does not need a remake. People only requested it because that's tradition to remake all the Persona games. You know what else was also a tradition? Ripping out people's hearts and feeding them to gods. To argue my point, I'll give you a few metrics that determine if a game is fit for a remake. Number 1, is the game 10 years or older? Number 2, is the game at least okay but would heavily benefit from some tweaking? 3, is the original not readily available on modern platforms? And 4, is there already a remake? Persona 4 Golden ticks off almost none of these. Persona 4 Golden only ticks off the 10 years or older. Persona 4 Golden is already a masterpiece. It is available for $20 on all major platforms, and Golden already exists. As to what this remake will look like, every idea seems to boil down to make it more like Persona 5. Now let me explain why this would be a horrific idea for a Persona 4 remake. The main reason is identity. Persona 4 is yet again a game of chill vibes and would not be improved by making it one-for-one exactly like the game about a band of plucky thieves who do tricks and parkour their way through the metaverse while taking down those in power in a story about rebellion. If you know the slightest thing about Persona 4, that is not its identity. What are you talking about? It was not built to have snappy baton pass gameplay, intricately designed dungeons to zip around in, and layered with an acid jazz soundtrack. Not to say those are bad. I have played P5 4 times, and it is my 4th favorite game of all time. A good P4 remake would not try to make itself like another game one for one, but would improve on what makes it Persona 4. My philosophy when it comes to identity is that you should not change your core identity to appeal to people that barely cared about you in the first place. And I keep that ideology with video games as well. Staying true to your true self is one of the main messages of Persona 4, as I have stated over and over again. Hard edges and all. In the end, Persona 4 is a game that has a lot of controversy for a lot of different reasons. It has also generated a lot of fans. Before we see the investigation team again in the new remake, I hoped to kind of clear the air about the discourse around the game. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe. It only takes a second. If you didn't like this video, however, then dislike it, report it, and cast a hex upon my family. To conclude, I will forever cherish my time with Persona 4. I will always love its flawed but endearing characters, the way it tackles its themes, its well-paced writing, and I am satisfied with that final train scene being the last time I see these characters. Bye for now.
For everything! Stay well until we meet again someday!
You'll always be my sensei forever!
Please don't forget about us over there! I love you, Senpai!
I'll do my best! You better not run away too, Senpai!
I'll always remember our time together!
Distance doesn't matter to us!